The ice has to be quite solid now. When I imagine the darkness under it, fish hitting that translucent roof trying to get some oxygen. A frozen lake can be a very scary place. Max could talk about that. It's in Finnish, but it should read Dirty Harry's. I haven't seen any other place around where people from Argo would be staying. There are more than enough logs, one of the few things which are plentiful here. I wonder how they remove the trash from here. Although it's so cold here, it must be hard for anything to spoil. Whoever they belong to, I don't think they need them in this foul weather.
Not my problem.
And whose is it then? On top of which, it's impossible to cook well even with poor supplies, but you would have to want to.
Yeah, pardon me then, next time. Miss? How did you get here? Professor, we have a visitor.
It's a map of the surroundings. It's full of promotional brochures, but there's also a map of the area. I could use that.
Those maps are for free. Promotion, you know. Feel free to take one.
Pickled cheese, chips, peanuts. I guess the chef hasn't been here for some time, if ever. All that's not covered by the crossword is covered by Argo. There's a note underneath about who has what room. Klaus Schneider has room number 1, Justin D. Bateman has room number 2, and Theodor Jacek has number 3. We'll see if it's just a waiter or maybe the hotel proprietor himself. I'd put my money on the latter. Fortunately, according to what I overheard when I came, he speaks English well.
I'm Harry Koponen. Sorry for not greeting you properly. You took me a bit by surprise. Not many people visit us here. Not this time of year.
But it's not caused by the time of the year, is it? Why such modesty? What about telling the lady here where she has come to?
Oh, the professor likes to exaggerate. There are some strange things going on lately. Yes, but this is an unusual land. Things are a bit different here.
And what things are we talking about now?
Well, they found some newsman in the lake. He had a burning cross carved into his forehead. So now people aren't exactly rushing here, Miss...
Leroy. Madame Leroy. And that dead man. Somebody investigated it, didn't they?
Sure. The police are searching around here pretty thoroughly. Didn't find anything. The newsman was milling about the burnt monastery not far away from here. I told him it is an evil place. But supernatural things seemed ridiculous to him. He didn't believe they exist. Well, his mistake.
I need a room, at least for tonight. I don't really want to go anywhere else in this weather.
Yes, that's wise. But it will be a bit of a problem with the room.
Why? You're not going to tell me you're full, are you?
Well, it's not that simple. I have 2 free rooms, but...
Oh, really? That's odd. I don't know about any free rooms.
You see, that's the problem. I'm speaking about Argo. The company rented all 3 of my rooms. Now only Professor Schneider stays here and the 2 other rooms are empty. But only Argo people can use them.
But I only need to stay until tomorrow. It can't hurt anybody.
I'll be frank with you. I have a contract with Argo. They're going to pay for all my rooms for at least one more month. But if I broke the contract, the professor here will blow the whistle. They may cancel the contract and I'll be left with just those few euros from you for tonight. So I'm sorry, but it won't happen.
But where can I go to? First you tell me it's not safe around here, and then drive me out into the night?
Jesus, drop it. Okay, wait. Let me think for a while. If we...
No, those rooms belong to Argo. That's not going to change.
Yeah, thanks. I almost forgot that. I'm really sorry. Really.
So that's great. What am I to do now?
Only someone from Argo can do something about it. I mean, only Schneider. You see, my hands are tied in this.
So the technicians from Argo really stay here. No matter what, I have to find a way to get a room. But I really need to get a room here, or at least somewhere near.
Well, there's one place, but it's definitely not near. The road leading there is probably snowbound and looking at that junky car of yours. No, you won't get there. Not with this wreck. You'd get stuck halfway and freeze to death. And moreover, there may be something worse than cold out there. Much worse.
That Argo, what are they doing here?
The same as everywhere else. They specialize in restoring old buildings, renovating paintings, cleaning old rotten books and such. And here they worked in the burnt monastery. Well, worked is the correct word. Professor Schneider and those two, Bateman and Jacek. Jacek has gone to the States, didn't even say goodbye. And Bateman, well, that's a weird thing too.
Weird? I don't want to be nosy, but when you've already mentioned a dead body...
Well then, you're probably not going to like this. Bateman left to take care of something the very same day as Jacek, but he should have returned a long time ago. I think you know where I'm heading. I said it to the cops too. Gentlemen, Bateman, he's going to come up the same way soon, because there's a beast creeping around. This is exactly what's going to happen. You'll see.
So you're saying that Bateman has disappeared, and Jacek? You said he's left?
Argo had him relocated to San Francisco. It's strange, though, that he's not come back yet. I heard that they were done with the work there.
No, the work in San Francisco isn't done. Something bad happened at the site. Because of that, it wasn't possible to continue. That's why Jacek was to return.
Oh, I know. But you said he had some kind of accident? Supposedly, he was hospitalized. Maybe he was severely injured.
Are you listening to me at all? I said that Argo called and that he was released from the hospital long ago. But if he's not back by tomorrow, I'll continue the work myself.
Sure, especially when you can barely get up from the table.
And whose fault is that? If there was a decent cook here instead of you using whatever you use to cook that stuff, I would be just fine.
Yeah, people are lining up to work here. Well, so much for Argo.
So you think Bateman is dead too?
Well, he left a message for the professor saying that he's going to accompany Jacek to Helsinki and buy some spare parts they needed for that digging of theirs here. It was almost a month ago.
So you think...
The professor says that although those spare parts are hard to get, he certainly should be back already. In my opinion, he got them, was on his way back, and when he was somewhere around here in the woods, then...
Then what?
This is a weird place, Madame Leroy. Sometimes a few meters is enough to make someone lose their way. Even before, people got lost here from time to time. Some people just disappeared. And now that corpse... Moreover, someone like Bateman was the type to come across something.
What do you mean?
The man was odd. Such a quiet person. Always lost in thought, and he never smiled. This Bateman, he lost his wife, Beatrice, somewhere in America, and he looked like he was waiting for death to come to him, too. And that's not good, because he who waits will live to see Miss Leroy. And then he had this terrible argument with Yatsek? Yatsek was greedy, money-grubbing, so if it was about money... But the one who shouted like mad was Bateman. Would you believe that? Weird guy, really.
What about that Yatsek? I think I may know him. He didn't leave some contact information? Don't you know where I can find him?
Well, you're not the only one who would like to know that. He was to return here from America. Schneider is still waiting for him, and the man just vanished into thin air. Maybe he got involved in something bad.
Why do you think that?
Normally, he wasn't a bad person. Unlike Schneider and that weirdo Bateman, it was at least possible to talk with him or to play some poker. At least when he'd not had too much to drink. They say he had problems with drinking even before, and I can believe it. When it went to his head, he totally lost control. Maybe that's why he argued so violently with Bateman before he left.
Didn't he write his address in the visitor's book?
No, I only have a contract with Argo, and anyone who works for them can stay here. Schneider deals with that. No one tells me anything.
And he's been away for as long as Yatsek?
Exactly, it's been about a month.
You said that Bateman argued about something with Yatsek. When was that approximately? And do you know what their argument was about?
No offense, but you ask a lot of questions. You know that? But I'll tell you, because it really was impossible not to overhear it. I was just repairing the railing in the hall, so I heard it firsthand.
Probably something trivial.
Hardly. They screamed like two psychos. Mostly Bateman. I couldn't believe he could get so angry. They squabbled about some book. They called it a manuscript or something. About some old book. Can you understand that?
Ancient documents can be extremely valuable, often in the tens of thousands of euros.
Well, that would explain it. After I left, they probably argued again in the lobby. I think one of them threw a hammer at the other one. I found it there.
And the fight, when did it happen?
About a month ago.
So immediately before Bateman accompanied him to Helsinki. Then Yatsek went to the States.
Wait, you think Yatsek would... because of that book? No, I wouldn't say that. Although, if he was drinking hard before he left...
It definitely has some logic to it. This is very interesting. Could Bateman be the first victim of Yatsek? That dead man from the lake, the slashed newsman, is his doing for sure. Something tells me that Bateman may not have left for Helsinki at all. Schneider's the man at the table? From Argo.
You bet. He's their boss. From what I overheard, he's the only one who actually knows what they're looking for. I guess it's a really big secret. Come on, tell us. What are you looking for up there?
That's hardly your business. I'd rather you looked for those pills for me.
You see, this is how much fun I have here. Theo, I mean Yatsek. Now that guy was funny. At least when he was sober.
You shouldn't have sold him any alcohol then. We came here to work, not to get drunk.
Yeah. You'd have them work the whole day in some damn crypt, and after that have them go straight to bed. Maybe you should have bought some robots with you instead.
A crypt? What do you know about a crypt? If Bateman or Yatsek had said anything to you about our research, it's classified. Secret. Do you understand?
Yes, I get it. As if anyone cared.
Our rivals, relic thieves, everyone cares. So just don't talk about anything you've heard, okay?
And this basically is what has been going on here every day for several weeks now. Sweet, isn't it?
You said strange things were occurring here even before.
Yeah, I probably said that.
Can you tell me something more about it?
Is there a point in shocking you with even more?
Do I look shocked? Tell me.
All right, but they're probably only myths.
Those tend to be the most interesting.
This is a weird place. Do you know who Ayatara is? It's a woodland devil, a she-demon. Some say she's the mother of all evil. Supposedly, that's why they built the monastery here.
A demon?
We have legends here that she has her lair somewhere near the lake. So when a tourist gets lost in the woods, folks immediately start gossiping about her abducting them.
But then the tourists are found, aren't they? And all is resolved?
Sure, most of the time.
You've mentioned a monastery. Can you tell me more about it?
Some monks lived there once, a strange order. They were very reserved and uncommunicative. There were some very strange rumors about them, but people always talk too much.
For example, what?
For example, that they worshipped death. Hard to say if there's any truth in it. True is that when the monastery burned down several years ago, people were saying that they burned themselves voluntarily.
But you don't think so.
Well, there's another version according to which some young Frenchman started the fire. He was said to be some artist and wanted to destroy the order or something.
I see, but you don't believe that?
I'll put it this way. Some days before the fire, a young Frenchman stopped here for lunch, and he was heading there. Coincidence, is it?
But you just said that it's been several years already. Maybe you don't remember it well.
Well, it has been some time. Anyway, the monastery burned down and the monks disappeared, and that's good.
The monastery interests me more and more. Could you tell me the way to the monastery?
Well, look, I really don't want to be the one who sends you there. You want to know the way anywhere else, no problem, but there... Anyway, I can't stop you from taking a map and doing what you please, but I've warned you.
See you later. Mr. Schneider, I need to speak with you about something important.
Fine, talk. But in brief, bitteschön, I don't feel well and I want to go to sleep soon.
Sure, I'll try to keep you as briefly as possible. It's about a room that your company has booked here.
Oh, firstly, it's not my company. I only work for Argo, and secondly, who am I speaking with? Didn't your parents tell you that it's polite to introduce yourself first?
Of course, I'm sorry. You're right. Sorry. I'm Laura Leroy. I came from France, and I'm taking pictures of various forgotten landmarks in the area.
So you are something like an enthusiastic tourist, Madame Leroy.
I prefer places that tourists tend to avoid. So no, I don't consider myself a tourist. Quite to the contrary. I'm interested in everything dusty and forgotten.
I like that. And why are you here?
I heard there's an old, forgotten monastery around here.
Well, a monastery, you say.
I couldn't overlook that you have some serious problem with your stomach, Professor. What's wrong?
You're really a remarkable observer.
What exactly do you suffer from? Maybe I can help you.
I doubt that.
Professor, I know you don't feel well and you don't feel like talking, but with all respect, isn't it a bit short-sighted to refuse my help?
And why do you think you're the one who can help me?
So what's wrong with you?
Everything you can imagine. Gastric ulcer, digestive juices, secretion disorder, problems with parasympathetic nerves.
And you suffer from these all the time?
Sometimes more, sometimes less. It greatly depends on my diet, which is the reason it's so bad now. Meals here are appalling, schrecklich. All the time. But today's dinner was really something else.
I'm sorry to hear that. What about some medicine? Do you take anything?
Oh, sure, I do. I have special antacids I brought from Germany. They're really strong because nothing else helps me anymore.
Where do you keep those antacids?
Do I look like I know where I keep them?
So you forgot them somewhere.
That's obvious, isn't it?
Right. Let's try something else. When did you last take them?
Today before lunch. I was in the monastery, but I put them back in my pocket immediately. I clearly remember that. You think it didn't occur to me?
You've probably looked here, so I think you must have left them there.
Oh, you're a real genius. That didn't occur to me.
It's unusual for something to just fall out of a pocket. Didn't you take something else out of it?
No. Moreover, they were still there when I looked for the keys to the crypt. The keys! But yes, I couldn't find them, so I emptied all my pockets. I must have forgotten the pills there, in the caravan by the monastery.
So that's it. Maybe you shouldn't be so quick to refuse help when offered.
You're right. It was silly. I'll get them in the morning. I have to survive somehow till then. I'm not going there now in such weather.
So Schneider left his pills in the monastery not far from here. Maybe this could be a way to get a room here? Mr. Schneider, I really need a room tonight. Couldn't I use one of those empty rooms?
Unfortunately, it's out of the question. Argo's policy in such matters is clear. Rooms rented by the company may be used only by its employees. Nobody else.
I heard that your two colleagues had a big disagreement about a month ago, before they both disappeared.
Who said that? Mr. Koppinen interests himself in things that aren't his business, as usual.
What was it about?
Sorry, but it's none of your business, Madame Leroy. I'm not in the mood to talk about the personal conflicts of my colleagues.
So it was something personal?
Excessive curiosity, Miss Leroy, is a very bad character trait, and doubly so in women. But it may comfort you a bit that I myself don't know and don't care at all. Jacek liked to have a drink sometimes, and then he behaved accordingly. A sad story, yes, but there's no need to look for anything else in it.
Could you give me simple directions to the monastery?
That's not possible. The monastery is absolutely closed to the public.
But I came here specifically because of it. I would really like to see it.
There are exploration and reconstruction works underway in the monastery, and no tourist can disturb them. And if you don't believe me, and try to get there, you should know that Argo pays to have a guard there. He definitely won't allow you inside.
Moreover, there are only ruins left. You'll be disappointed.
You can't just go inside, Frau Leroy.
Not even if I'm accompanied by you? I came a long way.
That's not possible, even if I wanted to. Right now, I'm not in any condition to go anywhere. Try asking me tomorrow when I'm feeling better or have my remedy back.
Goodbye, Professor. Damn. I'd like to mark the way to the monastery, but there's nothing on the map in the area where the monastery should be. I don't even see any roads.
What can I do for you, Madame Leroy?
See you later. I've searched the map thoroughly, but that monastery of yours isn't anywhere.
It's a tourist map, and the monastery isn't really fit for tourists. That's why.
Why?
Some strange monks used to live there. They didn't exactly like other people. I don't know how, but they arranged it somehow so that no one wrote anything about them. The monastery wasn't on any map, as if they didn't even exist.
But they aren't there anymore, are they?
No, the monastery burned down and some monks with it. What's been left is a dangerous and evil place, Madame Leroy. I don't much buy into such things, but I don't like it there neither. And more, Argo is doing some reconstruction and archaeological works there now. They uncover various passages and sometimes something collapses. Klaus here could tell you more about that for sure. A normal person would let it be, but not them. Am I right?
Oh, if everyone was such a superstitious fool like you, we wouldn't know anything about history.
Really? Maybe I'm a superstitious fool, but at least I wasn't found floating in a lake with my forehead slashed, like the newsman that was milling about there.
But I'd only like to take a few photos. I won't even go anywhere inside.
Well, if you really don't want to enter anywhere...
I really don't. Only several exterior photos, I promise.
Well, after all, it's your life, isn't it? So, about how to get there. It's not that difficult if you knew which way to go. So, go first there, turn here, and you're there. Is it clear?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
I don't think you should thank me. I've warned you.
Thanks, that helps me a lot.
You're welcome. But do me and yourself a favor. Go there only in the daytime.
There's some bottles with lemonade and iced tea inside. Although I'd prefer a tea, it's quite warm here and I feel I could use something cold too.
Hey, if you want one of those lemonades, it's €3. What can I do for you, Madame Leroy?
I'd like an iced tea.
Sure, it will be €3. Take whichever you like from the fridge. They all cost the same.
Here you are. A normal iced tea. Maybe too icy for this weather. No, I definitely can't open it. Not with my bare hands. The lid is somehow damaged. It's just some no-name cheap iced tea. I could try to decipher the ingredients, but why would I do that? It definitely wouldn't make it taste any better. So before Jacek went away, he had committed at least one other murder. That body in the lake. Could that have been an accidental victim? What if he's not in the States anymore? What if he came back already? That's not a very pleasant feeling.